Hiya! Welcome! I love professional wrestling. Yes, I know. Big shock. Quelle surprise. But it's true. And I am now heading towards the big 4-0, hurtling there. And I've been watching wrestling pretty much regularly for almost 30 years now. So that's 3/4 of my life spent on this crazy thing that some people call sports entertainment. And the genesis of this video stemmed from a conversation that I was having the other day with my fellow YouTuber and the king of subscription boxers, the Geeky Heathen, who was telling me that he used to watch the World Wrestling Federation, the WWF, back when he was young, like how I started out. He remembers Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, all those of that kind of rock and wrestling Hulkamania era. But he fell out of love with wrestling, or he just wasn't able to keep watching it. He said, Jim, I'd like to start watching some more wrestling, but I wouldn't know where to start now in 2019. What do I do? Where do I go? And then that gave me the idea to put this video together. A kind of beginner's guide for people who either have never seen any mainstream wrestling anymore but want to get into it, or for people like Glenn, the Geeky Heathen, who were a fan many years ago but have fell out with it and kind of want to start again, dip their toe back in the water but don't know where to begin. I'm hopefully going to make it easy for all of you people with just this very basic, simple guide to how to start watching wrestling on a regular basis and how to follow wrestling. And this is a video that's specifically for British people, for the UK and Ireland I'd say, but a lot of this information is exactly the same or very similar for all over Europe and all across the world really. This isn't a guide for the hardcore fan like me. If you watch this and you're as big a fan as I am, then you're going to know it and you're going to say, well, he's just stating the obvious. But obviously there's people out there who don't know about these services and websites, etc. And this is just a little guide to get someone going and get them into professional wrestling again. So step one is really the easiest and also the most important step to watch wrestling, and that is to get a WWE Network account at $9.99 a month. That's £9.99, but if you're in America it's going to be $9.99 in dollars, and your first month is free. So as you can see, when you go to the WWE Network page, you can glance at all the stuff that they've got on demand, all of this year's pay-per-views. This is just the tip of the iceberg, really, as to what they've got. And if you're a fan of old school stuff, then the network is perfect, really, because there's just millions of hours of back catalogue of wrestling. There's the WCW pay-per-views. There you can see the WCW section there. There's also ECW, and there's old episodes of WWE Raw, SmackDown, WCW Nitro, stuff like World Class Championship Wrestling and AWA. Pretty much it's wrestling overload. So what you do, you go and start your free month by pressing the red button. It will give you some bump and some spiel about what the benefits are of watching the network. There you can see you can cancel at any time before your 3 months trial has ended. And there's all the devices that you can watch the WWE Network on, pretty much any that you can think of. Mobiles, games consoles, smart TVs, streaming boxes, etc, etc. However, a downside to the WWE Network is that if you want to see their flagship weekly TV shows Raw and SmackDown, either live or soon after TV transmission, you will need to get a subscription to, from January 2020, BT Sport. Sky Sports have currently got Raw and SmackDown, but only till January. So in my opinion, it doesn't make a lot of sense to get, for example, a year's subscription to Sky Sports when they're not going to be showing any wrestling whatsoever come January. BT Sport, from my experience of it, it's fairly cheap or even free with certain packages if you're a BT broadband customer. If you're not a BT broadband customer, then it's rather more expensive, but I think it's still cheaper than Sky. Plus, you can either watch it via your other TV provider who isn't BT, such as Sky or Virgin, etc., or you can watch it via the BT Sport app available for smartphones, Apple TV, Xbox, etc. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Jimbles, you keep going about WWE, but what about the other wrestling out there? Surely that's not the only game in town. And it's not. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, has started up. It's about to launch on TV in America. And it is also going to be shown free to air on ITV4 over here in the UK. However, it's not going to be shown live. It's going to be shown heavily edited a few days later. So if you want to see AEW Dynamite, their flagship weekly TV show, which premieres in the States on October the 2nd, and for us, October 3rd at 1 a.m, you will need to get AEW Plus, which is a $4.99 a month subscription on a great app, Fight TV, which has got a lot of wrestling on it. It's got stuff from Ring of Honor, their pay-per-views, Impact Wrestling pay-per-views, and a lot of free stuff as well. It's not all stuff that you have to pay for. AEW Plus, $4.99 a month to watch the live, unedited Dynamite TV show, and you also get bonus content and the ability to watch episodes on demand if you don't want to stay up and watch them live. For me, as someone who watches a lot of wrestling every week and is also kind of OCD, I like to know exactly what major events are coming up, like the pay-per-views or the supercards, as you would call them. And I find the best place just to keep track of these things is Wikipedia. So just go into Wikipedia and look up list of WWE pay-per-views and network events, and you'll see not only all the old pay-per-views that have already been shown over the years, but the upcoming schedule. And if there's something that I think I might forget, I'll just put it into my phone's calendar app, and then I'll get a reminder about the show before it starts. Now, it's all very well talking about all these streaming services and ways to watch wrestling multiple times a week, but you still need places to go to find out news, what's happening behind the scenes, information about injuries, changes to shows. Plus, it's just nice to hear some gossip, really. So the main website that I use, the only one really for wrestling news, and I also like to read the Raw and SmackDown reports on here, is the Wrestling Observer Figure 4 online site at f4wonline.com. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing site, but this is just the first port of call for me for like almost 20 years now. Their TV reports are usually pretty good without being over long. They just nicely summarise what's going on, and obviously if you miss an event and you haven't got time to watch it, then there'll be the pay-per-view reports as well as all the news coming out of the shows and stuff that's happening in the world of wrestling generally. Obviously WWE's covered a lot, AEW's getting more and more coverage, and obviously anything in Japan, even UFC, stuff like that, and this site will have it all. But it's all horses for courses. This is my own personal preference, but there's plenty of other wrestling sites out there. I just tend to stick with the one I know, but shop around and see which ones give you sort of the news and the gossip that you want. Obviously, I would also recommend Twitter as well, following a few accounts on Twitter, some of the wrestling organisations and the wrestling writers, the journalists and the wrestlers themselves. Of course, this being the 21st century, we're not just reliant on websites and text-based news outlets. So I would say get on YouTube and find a great wrestling news channel. There again, much like the websites, it's all down to personal preference. My favourite wrestling channel on YouTube is Cultaholic. They've got a great mix of daily news updates, and then they do their top 10 lists. They've got a lot of stuff. But there's others out there. Just watch what you like, you know, watch as many as you like. Also, follow the official YouTube channel for whatever wrestling organisation you're into the most. I've got AEW's up here as an example. I don't watch a lot of their YouTube content as I'm just kind of psyching myself up for the TV and all the other pay-per-views that they've got to come. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to me because I do a monthly wrestling stream with Not Suitable for Mum, Rach Kappa, and The Night Owl. Sometimes it's more than once a month if there's more than one pay-per-view coming up every month, and we predict the pay-per-views and talk a lot about WWE and the wrestling business in general. And it's a lot of fun, and it's great to have my subscribers and viewers just come in and chat with us about it. We are back again. So they are my main tips and suggestions for you. And you don't need to follow them all. It depends what you're into, how you want to approach it. I'm putting all the information on the screen as a recap of the prices for the subscriptions and such like. And I admit there's a lot I haven't covered here because I wanted to keep this fairly simple. Wrestling for dummies, in a way. I haven't covered New Japan World, the streaming service for Japan's #1 promotion, NJPW, because that is kind of getting really hardcore, where I'm trying to speak to the casual or new fan here. And obviously there's plenty of other minor streaming platforms for indie promotions, and you know, I just couldn't cover everything. I just wanted to cover the big player, WWE, and then kind of the new upstart, AEW. And then obviously talk about the website and the YouTube channel that I recommend. But like I said before, do some research, have a look around, and you'll find what fits you. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like me to do a part 2 where I can recommend what to watch on the WWE Network, like what to watch on a weekly basis, and maybe go through some other things that new or lapsed wrestling fans may be confused about, then leave your comments down in the comment section and let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 to this video, and I'll be very happy to do that. But thank you all for watching. I hope this has been of some use to you, and that you're maybe now a little less daunted about the prospect of trying to watch regular American professional wrestling here in the United Kingdom or Ireland or beyond. Thank you to all my subscribers. As always, I love you all, and please do join me again for my next video. Cheers everyone. See ya!